Hi everyone, I'm Binay and I'm going to start the second part of the essential Python training. Uh, in this part, we will discuss about indents, PEP, virtual env, basic data types and data structures of Python. So let's move on. This is the summary of part 1. We have installed Python in our system. I expect every one of you have installed Python in your system so that we can get started, and you have also, I expect you have also set up the editor in your system. So the next step is there are two things. One is PEP and the other one is virtual environment. What you can do is you can do in Mac you can do eg install pip, or in Ubuntu you can do sudo apt-get install pip, and you can just download the pip. Get there is something called getpip.py. You can just download the file and put in inside the scripts folder inside Python directory in Windows, and you will be able to access pip via the command prompt. What is pip is it's a Python indexing package, Python installer package, using which you can install various libraries in your system. You can inspect the libraries installed in your system using pip also. Then there is this thing called virtual environment. Using pip you need to install this, like pip install virtual env. But what this will do, you can create your small multiple environment in your single system, so that suppose you want to use Python 2 in one for one project and Python 3 for some other project, and you want to have both the projects running on the same system. Using virtual environment you can do that. So these two things are the most important things to get you started using Python. So I ask you to install this job. Okay, then let me discuss about Python code. Python community, whenever a developer is trying to do something, he is going to spend his 90% of time in reading the code, because only reading can make him understand the code. Then he can think of some solution and do it. So Python community has always concentrated on making the code more readable. So you will feel while reading the code or writing new code, you will always feel that Python is very readable code and it's very comfortable to work with. So let's get started. As every other language, we will be getting started with the hello world program. In Python, the hello world program is very simple. It just print hello world, like you can see here. As you can see, I have this file hello world.py, and it says print hello world. I can simply go to the console and type print hello world. It will print it, or I can just execute the file just by going inside home, workshop, awesome Python, class 2. Can just type Python hello world.py, and it says hello world. It's executing this file and printing this. So let's move on to the next slide. So I think you must like the hello world using Python, because it's less than any other language. It's just a one line code. So let's get started and do a conventional coding of swapping of two variables. In conventional coding of C, C++, Java, anything, what we do is we either add two variables, then just using plus and minus we swap the value of two variables, or we declare a third variable and using that we swap the two variables. But here in Python it's very simple. If suppose a is 5 and b is 6, So you can just do a comma b equals to b comma a, and it will get swapped. Let me just execute this. Python swap.py. It says before swapping it's executing this line 5 6, then this line after swapping 6 5. So it's done. Let's move on to the next slide. It says data types. Like as every other language, Python is also having a few data types like integer, character, and there is no character actually, there is string, and we have floats, and we have boolean and all. So let's move on to data structure. Other than data types, we have data structures. There is a small convention in Python, that is mutable or immutable. So if you can edit any variable or value or anything, that is known as mutable, and if you cannot, that is immutable in Python. So we have 4 type of data structures. Mainly it's not data structures, you can tell it as data containers. Those are a list, dictionary, tuple, and set. Lists are like array we have in these are like array we have in C or C++ or any other language. And then we have dictionaries. Those are having key value pair. And then we have tuple. Tuple is like list only, but it's immutable, you cannot change the value. In list and dictionary you can change the value. Then we have set. Set is something that doesn't have any duplicate value. Suppose you have a list containing a equals to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. The a is this. Then if you want to make it as a set, b equals to let me same thing here. Oh, sorry. If I type b here, see, the duplicates are removed and it only says 1 2 3 4. So that's a set. It works as a mathematical set we use in general. So let's move on to the programs and use some of the code that I have already written. So this is a typical list that can have numbers. It can have characters also as a element. It can have list as its element, tuple and dictionary also as elements of that particular list. So let's try. Let's Python list.py. This is the list I have defined, and I'm printing this list as this. Then I'm appending appending a name Matt to this list, and I'm printing, and it says Matt is appended to that list. So let's move on to the next slide, that is tuple, and I'll explain how tuple works. It's the same way. See, you can see the same values I have added in tuple, and I'm printing the tuple, then I'm trying to append Matt, and I'm printing the tuple again. So let's try it. Python tuple.py. It's first printing this tuple, then it says tuple object has no attribute append. It's actually not allowing the tuple to not allowing the person to modify the tuple. Tuple is immutable. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. This is dictionary. how a dictionary looks is like this. It's a key value pair enclosed within curly braces. You can just define a new key also using square bracket and define its value and print it. So let's try. So I have created this dictionary, then I have added a new key and it's printing the two variables. Let me explain again. Like if I put here print dictionary 1 and now I execute this, first it said it was the first dictionary named Matt, then it has added a new key and a new value here. So let's go to set. I have already shown you one example in set. Let me show you another. You can see I have created a set called a Python tutorial, but let's see what it does. Python set py. I have just put a string inside the set, and what it does, it first splits the string into each bit, and then removes all the duplicates like it does here. And the type is, I'm printing the type. It says it's a set. So we are done with discussion of pip virtual environment and various data containers of Python. So that's all for this part. We will add I will create some problems and add a link to that problem in the bio of this video. Please try to fix those problems I am giving and mail me back so that we can discuss on those problems in the next slide. So this is all for today. Thanks.